Friends and foes, it is I, Rocco George, host of Rocco George Tarot. Now, I got a very special message from a good friend of mine asking what did I see in the cards for Trump during the lunar eclipse coming up on March 14th and the March Ides, which is the Roman calendar, which also is a symbol of endings and sometimes doom, not a good thing. But let's see what the cards, let's jump right into it. I will let you know what deck I'm using. Hold on, I'll have to pause it. I want to let you know what deck I'm using because I've got a lot of decks and there's so many beautiful ones. And this one, I don't know where I got it. It's called the Dream Keeper's Tarot by Liz Houston. And it's just a beautiful tarot deck. So imaginary, so much inspiration. It's very, gives me this sort of secretive sort of feeling. And I don't use it very often. But I like to show the deck because I've got a lot of them. And then I really love the art, even if sometimes it's digital art, like the Santa Muerte Book of the Dead deck is digital, but it's very, very inventive, very creative. All right, so a few things I want to talk about. If you hear snoring, it's my little friend over here, Louis, who's what are you? Well, I think it's a Saint or a King Charles Cavalier. And he's a good boy, right? Alright, he doesn't leave my side. He's my only friend. Okay. Also, in this episode, we're going to make contact with another friend of mine, a demon named BT. We will be talking to him, asking him some questions about what does he see in the future. So stay tuned if you want to see that. Talk to a demon named BT, all right? Let's get right to it. What awaits for El Donald Trumpas? Okay, let's start. So, what awaits Donald Trump during the Ides of March and the lunar eclipse on the 14th, Ides of March 15th? Queen of Swords. So there are ideas moving forward very quickly, right? And it was all planned out. That's what I'm feeling. This situation happening right now was planned out, and it was supposed to be very intricate, but the outcome is not happening the way it was planned. So things are coming to, not quite yet, the High Priestess. So next up we have the High Priestess. So for me, there's like some feminine, obviously there's some feminine energy coming in, air. So what we have here is, first off, we start out with the Queen of Swords. Ideas moving forward, moving quickly through the air, air, manifesting, nurturing something into existence. And you have the esoteric, the High Priestess right here. She's in between the two pillars of severity and mercy. And she is the balance, but she holds the key. So these are a bunch of ideas moving forward, but there's always going to be something they didn't plan for that's going to happen. So what's going to happen to Donald Trump is that he had a bunch of ideas, or a bunch of people working with him, that were manifesting this sort of, this idea of okay, so their idea is to, all right, Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords. Okay, that makes sense to me. So what the idea was is to cause chaos. To cause chaos, to make the market, they're trying to make the stock market fluctuate. And it's not all Donald Trump's brain. It's not all his brainchild, but they're making it fluctuate. They make the stock go down, they buy into it, and then they have Donald Trump say he's going to raise the tariffs, and then the stocks go up again once he decides he's not going to raise the tariffs. But then it's not working out because sometimes he's not saying the right thing. And their whole idea is, so what we got is the Queen of Swords. The manifesting, the nurturing of ideas, moving quickly with them. Then we have the esoteric, the secretive, the knowledge, secretive knowledge held by the high priestess. And at the end we have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords, which isn't good for Donald Trump. Okay. But let's see. Let me just keep my brain, my thoughts moving here. So there was an idea set up. There was a big plan. It was planned for a long time, and it's starting to come through, and it's working. But the outcome is not exactly what was expected because Donald Trump is not controllable. He has a mind of his own, but also he's old, so he's forgetting things. And so we have the Ten of Swords. I'm not saying in March is going to be the end of Donald Trump, but I think he's losing his grasp on reality, and he's very hard-headed and arrogant. So they're going to tell him what he needs to do, and he's not going to do it. And I think he's a little bit annoyed with the fact that Elon Musk basically was part of this plan. Elon Musk and the rest of the billionaire class. They had planned this out, not all of them, but we're talking Peter Thiel, I can't think of all, and Elon Musk, and then there's the, whatever, they're all assholes anyway, but I think Jeff Bezos, and then Jeff Bezos. There's more of them, but they all weren't first into the plan, but then once the plan started going, you had Mark Zuckerberg or whatever jump in. But this has been going on for years. And their idea is to so 1 week there's tariffs, the next week there's no tariffs. They make the market fluctuate. People buy into the stocks once they're down, and then he denied, there's not going to be any tariffs, and then they go back up again. They go down, up, that they buy into it when it's down, and then the price, they accumulate. I know what they're doing. So what they're doing is they're hoarding all the money. They want to have all the money and all the power in one place to control. The rest of us are going to have to deal with whatever. They don't care. They don't care if we're starving. We've got, they want to take away EBT. Maybe that's part of the distraction. Take away Medicaid. $880 billion cut to Medicaid and tax cuts for the rich. They're hoarding powers. They're hoarding money so that they can manipulate everyone. And we're not seeing it. Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords. So I'm going to... It's so hard to... Eight of Swords, there's something... I feel like it's us. The Eight of Swords is directed towards us. That it's obvious, it's in front of our faces, and we're not doing anything about it. And if you notice, I also wanted to say, okay, we got the King of Pentacles. There we go. King of Pentacles. He holds the money. He is, the king of his dominion. He has his kingdom and his serfs, which is all of us. But there's something unexpected. There's something unexpected happening that they did not plan on. And whether or not it's the Donald Trump going outside of the plan or slipping up or saying the wrong thing, I don't know yet. But I think what is happening right now is very obvious. They're hoarding the money, they're hoarding the power. They only got Donald Trump on board. Why Donald Trump is such a, I guess, cuck to Elon Musk is because he poured all his money into his campaign. So he, I guess, in a sense, owes Elon Musk, and that was the idea. But now, what was unexpected was because the legality of an unelected bureaucrat, dipping into the Treasury and making cuts to Medicaid, making cuts to USAID, that's illegal. That money was already allocated, voted through Congress to be given to these different organizations, and he's cutting them. That's against the law. We didn't vote for him, we voted for Congress. And the fact that the Democrats aren't doing anything about it, they're just, this is a huge mistake. I was going to do a reading on that too, why the Democrats are so absolutely feckless. But they're feckless because they can only succeed with all this. That's what's in their mind. They think they can only succeed. One, when Republicans are ruining the economy, ruining the environment, their donators, their donations go way up, so that works for them. Also, they are controlled by their lobbyists. So what's good for the lobbyists on the right is good for the lobbyists on the left. And not to mention that most of them are the same, I'm trying not to cuss, same effing people, same corporations. You have AIPAC, all right? AIPAC gives to the left and the right. Of course, they benefit more from Trump because he's giving them gave them the Golan Heights and God knows what parts of Syria. So let's get back to the story here. Ideas moving forward, manifesting. But there was a lot that they didn't expect, a lot they didn't read properly. They're in between. The high priestess is here in between. And I think this is where the power is. The power is with knowledge, with education, which is why they want to destroy the education system. They want to privatize everything. Why? So they can control what you learn and also make money at it. Start charging you. It's a public education is a service for everyone. They want to only give this type of service for the rich. This is like what they did back in the Dark Ages, for God's sakes. Only the rich could read. Only the rich could eat certain foods. Only the rich could be educated, and not even women, just men. Women were limited, That's how they separate us. But it is up to us to end it, to stop it. We have to open our eyes to it. Here we have the Eight of Swords and the Ten of Swords. We can get out of this and end this. But it is up to us to see who's holding the money. Follow the money. It's this guy, the king. But so far, what this is telling me, and what I'm feeling in these cards, is that what's coming up, right, for Donald Trump, is he wants to run. He wants to run to Mar-a-Lago. He didn't expect things to look this bad because people are going to be very angry. Maybe the boiling point is going to be, I have a feeling the boiling point's going to be June, July, and go all the way to September. But I think the madness is part of the whole plan. The craziness is all part of the plan to get you distracted. You know, look how distracted the right is with trans issues and immigrants. Immigrants are least likely to commit crimes. I know this. I'm from Tucson, Arizona. They don't want to get caught. They want to keep making money, sending it back to Mexico to their families. The big dream is to save up enough money so that they could go back and open a little bodega or whatever in Mexico, in Costa Rica, wherever. But a lot of people end up staying because they start families, they meet people, they become part of a community, and then they work on getting their citizenship. So to get their citizenship, as I said in my last video to my 2 followers, they pay their taxes. So we get all these taxes, and none of the Social Security that they're paying into, none of the Medicaid that they're paying into ever goes back to them. So so as I was saying, knowledge is power, right? We all know that. But to get back our money, to get back our what is valuable to us? What is valuable to us? Happiness. Living a full and fulfilling life. It doesn't have to be perfect, the real down-to-earth people of this country, the United States, they just want to work. They just want to have a family. They want a little niceties. They want a little bit of luxury. I think deep down that's what we all want. We don't need 5 houses. We don't need, we'd be happy with just a little bit of comfort, not spending time with our families. I mean, I'm not that way, but people seem to like spending time with their families, They want to relax, talk to their kids and have a couple pets, go to therapy if they got to. 9 of Cups. So, again, with the sort of hoarding of the cups, but there's abundance out there. There's abundance for everybody. These are beautiful cards. I don't know. I hope you can see, but there's abundance out there. There's abundance for everybody. There's enough. But we're not quite there yet. People are still in this idea that I need to get what's mine, and there's not going to be enough for everybody. So I have to get what I'm owed, what I deserve. And it's not like that. There's plenty for everyone. There's no need to panic about it. When you panic about dumb shit, it just makes everybody else on edge. I don't know. It's vibes, whatever. I've pulled out 9 of Pentacles. Again, the abundance. It's there for everybody. But people are hoarding it. So what I'm feeling now is like people's reaction is they're starting to wake up. They're starting to wake up and notice that the system in which we live right now, this capitalist, anarcho-capitalist, kakistocracy or whatever, a bunch of idiots who are just thinking, grabbing and eating like a pig at the thing and like thinking they got to eat it fast so that nobody else gets any, because it's running out. But it's not running out. Nothing's running out. We have all this abundance and we just have to do the right thing, The golden rule. Whatever happened to the golden rule? Why does nobody talk about the golden rule? What happened to all you Christians? Do unto others as you would have done to you, or whatever fucking So there's abundance. So let's get to the nitty gritty as to what's going to happen to this fucking sack of farts. The creatix. Creatix. The magician. So what I'm feeling when I think of the magician, it's like creating, manifesting something into being. We can have, after all this is said and done, we can move forward and live in a better way. We have to be in agreement. We have to be we have to agree as a collective to move forward in a more equal way. This idea of things being limited is what's killing us, you know. And what's going to happen to Donald Trump is right now I think he's a little bit scared. He's nervous because he's seeing people's reaction. And my dog's snoring, by the way. He's feeling people's reaction to this, and they all knew this was going to happen. But talking about what's going to happen and seeing what happens is a totally different thing. You know, feeling what's happening is different than talking about it. And what's happening is people on the right, I'm talking about congressmen, I'm talking about, politicians and businessmen on the right are starting to panic. They're starting to see that people aren't just giving in. And people in this country aren't just giving in. They're like, okay, I was for, I think, I'm not going to say MAGA, but I feel as if people who were sort of center-right are figuring out, I made a mistake. I gotta get out there. I gotta protest. And I absolutely agree. 9 of Pentacles is the abundance. So it's out there. We have to get it. We have to demand it. Unless you want to live in an oligarchy. Because what I'm feeling, there we go. What I'm feeling is that what happened in Russia, if you think about it, when the USSR collapsed in the 90s. So, Reagan was president in the 80s. And it was the Cold War, which is a bunch of bullshit. Give me a second here. I might probably edit this out because I'm pausing because I like to see things. So the USSR collapsed. The USSR collapsed in the 90s, right? When that collapsed, Russia, rose up. Putin comes into the picture. It's suddenly a capitalist sort of society. But most of the riches, if you think about how Putin seized power, right? He got all his little oligarch friends involved, and they, if you think about it, it's the exact same story. If you think about all the billionaires sitting behind Donald Trump at his inauguration, it was the same thing with Putin. That's why I say this thing had been planned for a long time. Oh, Putin is just a happy motherfucker right now. Excuse my French. Make sure nobody heard that. Not that I have any friends. It's the same story. it's the same story, and they seized all the money, they seized all the power, and now people are, you know, they got their little bootlickers to help them out. They took over the military. The military is this brutal. But when you hold people down, eventually, you know, if you think of a weed growing out of the side, going through the concrete through the sidewalk, you know, it's like that's what happens when you oppress people. You make them evolve into something that can break through. That's why when bad things happen to you, sometimes that the silver lining is that you're gonna evolve to break through. That's eventually, hopefully, that's what happens with Russia. I mean, because I don't think he's gonna stop with Ukraine. Obviously, he's not. He's not. I mean, obviously, he's an imperialist. So let's get back on track here, but. Alright, I'll pull this. Four of Swords. Rest. There will be a moment where we'll have to pull back. And I know this doesn't have anything to do with Trump, but this feels like it's more what happens to Trump is going to be what our reaction to him is. It's still not going to be good for him. It's not going to be good for him because he went too far. I think he's panicking. He's thinking he's regretting having Elon Musk handing over to him so much power, but it's behind the scenes because there's it's all been illegal, and this could come back to bite him in the ass if he loses power. Yes, that's the dog snoring. So this could all come back and bite him in the ass. So he's a little bit concerned, he's a little bit mad at Elon. His health is not good. Ace of Swords. So there's a mental struggle. Ace of Swords. Well, you know, you still have the sword is still in God's hands, so to speak. The sword is still. There needs to be work on handling mental health, and I'm not talking about, I guess, the public as well, but also the politicians as individual need to. They're so detached. The word is called disassociation. Like they go by such a rigid rule book as to how to feed them. There's like this madness that comes over all politicians when they get a little bit of power and money, and it's like they're just like you know, they get addicted to it, but they're very rigid on that path. They don't want to stray from it. That's why you got Hakeem Jeffries like telling all the rest of the Democrats not to make a scene, and you got Chuck Schumer holding up an avocado, telling us how the price of guacamole is gonna go up. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. It's all like this theatrical bullshit to make us think that they're doing something, and they ain't doing shit. You know, some of them are. AOC, Bernie, Jasmine Crockett, you know, Rashida Tlaib. But I mean, 10 Democrats also voted to censure Al Green, who was the only one to make a scene about how the Republicans and how Donald Trump were going to make cuts to Medicaid, which is absolutely ridiculous. 40% of all babies in this country are born through Medicaid. Also, Medicaid also pays for the elderly. So I don't know. Do with that what you will. Page of Cups. Communication of the emotional through water. I feel people need to wake up. That's what this is telling me. You know, it's like we're in a dream. We have to ourselves be on a sort of rigid path of what we will accept. You know, they're testing us out here. They're testing out how far can they push us. Okay, let's I mean, it's what they've always done. We're gonna cut this, okay, and people are like, you know, they get mad about it and then they forget about it the next day. You know, they move on. That's why so much is happening all at once. Oh, let's make Canada the 51st state. Let's make this or that, you know. Whether or not they're serious about it, either way, it still works out for them, you know, to get people distracted, you know. You know, there's a tariff this week, there's not a tariff this week. Okay, there's 25%. Oh, never mind, just on this thing. Okay, just that thing. Okay. You know, let's fire the department, you know, the FAA administration. You know, planes are crashing. Whether or not they had something to do with it is, I mean, whether or not that is the cause and effect is disgusting. You know, people are losing their lives, people are dying, and it's all this sort of money grabbing power play for them. And that's what it is. They don't care. They don't care about the peons. And all you, I don't know what you call bros, tech bros who worship billionaires really need to fucking get your head out of your ass. That's all I gotta say to you. Because money's not everything, and also when you put people on a pedestal and then you try to be as grand as they are, it's unachievable because they live their lives through a lie themselves. What you see is not what's going through their head. Try not to cuss. 7 of Cups. That's pretty funny. 7 of Cups, which is also the choices card. The choices, dreams, as I was saying. Wake up, you know. Take notice of what's going on around you and figure out the next steps. We have to plan ahead. So how does this all revolve around Donald Trump? I'm going to pull 3 more cards and then we'll leave it at that. 7 of Swords. Strength. And 10 of Cups. What this is telling me is that it's not good for Donald Trump. I don't feel like he's going to be impeached. I don't feel like he's going to back down and just, you know, maybe spend these 4 years trying to do the minimum. I feel like his health-wise, something might catch up to him. I feel like the outcome is going to be so good for us that we are going to be in the 10 of Cups. But 10 of Cups, as I said in, I don't remember, maybe the last video, it's not the end. So something's going to happen. Donald Trump's health is going to catch up to him, or something's going to happen, and I feel like maybe I hate to say this. I don't know if it's going to happen. Nothing's, you know, carved in stone, but I feel like we're going to have a president, J.D. Vance. Yeah. I mean, we have strength. We have Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords there. So something's going to come to an end. And there's going to be a happy ending, because this is the very last card. There's going to be a happy ending for somebody, right? If the oligarchs get their way, then we'll all be serfs, and some of us will live on, live in Canada, and our king will be Peter Thiel, and some of us will live in South America, and our king will be Mark Zuckerbuck, and those other freaks will, Australia will be ruled by Elon or whatever, and some serfs will be over there. But we don't have to take it. We have to wake up. I think my verdict is health is going to catch up to Donald Trump. It's not going to be anything legal, even though we've got a lot of swords here. I don't feel like it's going to be anything legal because, I mean, he's gotten away with everything so far. So, and I think we're the ones that are going to come out on top. There's enough for everybody. There's enough abundance. Stop worshiping rich people. I know we all grew up on Dynasty in Dallas. I love those shows. I love Dallas. Knots Landing. No, I'm more of a Dallas person. But that's soap operas. It's not the real world. Neither is the internet. You got Kim Kardashian wiping her ass with gold bars. That doesn't happen in real life. She's full of shit. She's full of shit. Kanye's full of shit. This whole attitude of money's this and that. I mean, it used to be cute. It used to be funny. It used to be a way of fantasizing, and it was fun, and what if we were jet setters and all that? No. It's, we have every right to demand a quality of life, a good quality of life, You don't need the fucking whatever it's called, the big Hummers driving, you don't live you live in New York, what's the point of having a Hummer? I'm talking about the truck, not the other thing. That, yes, plenty of those in New York. Anyway, obviously this video is very long, so I did promise that we were going to talk to a demon, so I'm going to make it a part 2, okay? So let's see what our friend BT is doing. BT, what do you think is going to happen to Donald Trump, huh? What do you see happening?
Oh, you want to know what I think of him? That gaudy sack of grievances with bad bronzer? Please, we've got standards down here. We like our sinners with a bit of charm, a little bit of sophistication, a whisper of remorse, even if it's fake. But Trump, that man's got all the grace of a rat in a wind tunnel, or a pig's anus, or the moral compass of a broken vibrator. And it's not just him. Oh, no. You think I want his whole entourage? Elon, that dollar store villain with delusions of godhood? And the others, grifters, bootlickers, and wannabe overlords. They're not even the fun kind of wicked. Just exhausting. See, in hell we appreciate a bit of craft in sin. A master manipulator, a tragic villain, or someone who can at least tell an interesting lie, or even count their balls and come up with the right number. But these guys, they're just loud, greedy, and worst of all, they're boring. And don't get me started on the whining. Hell is for the damned, not the insufferable. Can you imagine the complaint? These fires are too hot. This suffering's unfair. These demons are too woke. I'd rather drag my claws across a chalkboard for an eternity than listen to that. So no, they don't get in. Not because they're too evil, nah. We love evil, but because they're the wrong kind of evil. The lazy kind, the petty kind, the kind that doesn't even have the decency to be entertaining. So let them float like an unsufferable turd in the void they made for themselves. Down here, we like our damnation with a little bit of class.
Okay, BT. Thank you so much. Okay. Yes, that's all for our show today. Hopefully I will do another video sometime for my 2 followers. Thank you. Remember, this is my outro. They always remember to shine. Okay. Remember, may God bless you so you can be a blessing to someone else. Ta-ta.
I'm single.